Good evening and welcome back to our pregame show here on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan, Mike Wasdala, TJ Newsham along with you. We're talking Delta men's basketball right now, and we start off by looking at this squad that Coach McMath has put together. And again, you don't have to go far from home to put a great squad together.
No, I'll tell you what, it's another Great Lakes Bay region type of squad, Jeff. And when you look at the girls team, the women's team, and the men's team, it just tells you the good quality basketball we have here in the Great Lakes Bay region. Good, solid players, and going to be a lot of fun to watch tonight.
If you're looking for an MVP on this Delta club this year, it might be the trainer.
I tell you, he has had his hands full. I know personally about one particular player that spent a lot of time in that training room, but we've seen it with the women's first game. You know, Jesse Torres is one of the best trainers I have seen, and being at the college level, I've seen some very good ones coming our way, come through, and he's great with the kids. He understands, he listens to them, he understands, but he has a way to get them out and get them back on the court as quick as possible, and that's a sign of a great trainer. Now, I would love to have my son in there a lot less, but if I'm going to have him in a training room, I want him in there with Jesse.
As you look at this Delta team, you know that they are going to play with high energy and effort.
Well, you know, Jeff, it's going to be up and down the floor. They're going to try to do a lot of transition, a lot of defense. And the one thing you got to remember, and I talked about it in the game earlier, this is big boy basketball. This is junior college, big-time basketball. It's going to be physical. The referees are going to let them play. You're going to get bumped. You're going to get grounded. And you're not going to get fouls called against you or for you. So you just got to be able to take care of the basketball and don't expend a lot of energy. But, man, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to getting back out to Delta and watching these kids play.
Now, when kids are injured, it allows other kids the opportunity to step up. And I think down the stretch, if Coach McMath has one thing he can be excited about, it's other people have been forced to step up.
Well, I tell you, you're right, because with Trey Newsham being sidelined as one of your top two scorers, Peyton Miller being sidelined, it made the rest of the group, Chaz Woods had to step into a scoring role, versus kind of coming in as a point guard and a distributor. The onus has been put on him a little bit more. Javion Felton, another great inside presence. Evan Anderson's picked up the extra minutes. Him and Peyton kind of flip-flop there after the first couple of minutes. Now Evan's getting in extended periods of time, and and he loves to dunk the ball. I can tell you that right now. If he gets a chance, it'll be a dunk over a layup any day of the week. But they have stepped up. And it's one of those things, too, they're getting ready for a chance at a postseason run. The playoff really starts for these guys tonight. If they can get a win, they can steal a win. Now, Oakland got them by 4 points a couple weeks ago. If they can steal a win tonight, they got Mott on Wednesday. But stealing this win allows you to start thinking, okay, if we position ourselves into the tournament, we get Trey back, we get Peyton Miller back. All of a sudden, you're coming back in with your top scorers, and all of a sudden your team has a different dynamic, and then you develop your bench along the way.
Well, we're excited about it. We're going to come back with Coach McMath, get his words of wisdom and his thoughts on tonight's game after this break on Bay County TV.
My classes here at Delta have been really exciting, honestly. A lot of them I walk in not knowing what to expect, but the teachers they're willing to help you outside of class, in class. They make you not feel afraid to ask questions in class. And that was one of my biggest problems before, was asking questions in class. And now I'm more into it. My pre-cal class that I had with Habib Khalil, it really stood out to me because he was one of my first teachers to actually push me. It's very interesting. He taught me a lot about myself that I didn't know. And it was through a simple math class. And now I feel like I'm ready for any class after his. Although it was just a pre-cal class, it was it had more meanings to it.
Go ahead, think big about your future. Visit delta.edu.
Good evening and welcome back to our pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and TJ Newsham along with the men's basketball coach at Delta, Carlos McMath. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you for having me. It's a great day to be a Pioneer.
Well, every day's a great day to be a Pioneer. And, Coach, when you look at this team this year, there are stretches that your team has played and you're wowed by their effort, but I think the consistency is the factor that you're striving for with this group right now.
Most definitely. I think the consistency of being just a brotherhood and working hard and then playing for each other, not with each other, it becomes frustrating, but then it also comes with the maturity of the game, maturity of the season. And then hopefully right now we're playing some of our best basketball. Even though it doesn't show it on the in the win column, we're still busting our butts, man. We're still playing great Delta basketball, and hopefully we come out with another W today.
After your run last year to the national tournament, I seen this year's team as a chance to really continue that growth, but I seen a snake-bitten team. I seen a team that had leads. I seen a team that was struggling a little bit. What's the big thing about, was it the freshmen kind of having to adjust their game to this level that maybe they weren't expecting, or were they just expecting to come into a national tournament team and expect that to carry over? What do you see as the biggest thing that you guys have to do or have seen with the kids?
I think the biggest thing that we've seen is it's a mixture, it's a combination of two things. First is the freshmen believe it was easier, it was just going to be like high school, and they kind of conducted themselves that way. So they became in a little bit immature and thinking it was just me. But I think we did a good job of kind of getting that out of the way for the most part and building them inside a culture. I think the other thing is that honestly we kind of lost a little bit of the senior leadership, sophomore leadership. I think last year we had a lot of guys that kind of played in the back and they can really come out to the front a lot. And so right now that's one of the things that hurts us is just our sophomore leadership.
Now, being in your fourth year at the program, you've got consistency with it. You've got that great title run that you had last year. That's got to help in your recruiting of young men. Saying, if you're here and you stick with the program and you believe in the program, this is what can happen.
Most definitely. I mean, the thing that we sell always is 2 for 20, first and foremost. I mean, come here for Delta for 2 years and let us positively impact your life on and off the court so you can be successful down the road. The other thing we stress all the time is EPIC, which stands for every player is crucial. And that's a cool way of saying value the small things, right? And so that's one of the things I tell them. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how talented you are. Everybody respects somebody that uses their common sense consistently, right? And so those are things that we try to teach and mold our young men about. Everything else is easy. Like coaching basketball is easy. Playing basketball is really easy, depending on your talent scale, right? But if you want to be a great person, the hard work you put in right now as an athlete is the same hard work you can put in as an engineer, as a lawyer, as a doctor. It's about sacrificing and coming together and being in the atmosphere in which you're able to be your true self.
One thing that we talked about it a second ago, I know you had some injuries this year, but tell me about what your approach is here for the last couple of games. You guys are in a playoff mix. You're ready to try and make another run in March Madness, and I think once you get your full team back, come in a couple of weeks, but tonight's a playoff game, is it not?
Most definitely. I mean, today is, you got to sacrifice everything. We got to come out with our best effort. I think the biggest thing that we're doing as coaches now, and the team is buying in, is we're just taking all the plays and moving them out the way to say, hey, go give me your best effort. And once that effort isn't your best, we'll get you a sub and then come out. I think what we got to do better as a coaching staff, and I think we're adjusting, it's not overcoaching. And sometimes you can overcoach, sometimes you can be negative Nancy, right? And so right now, for the past couple of games, it's been PMA, positive mind attitude. You keep everything positive, you keep everything in a good mind frame, and then you'll be good to go. And so that's what some of the things that we're adjusting with right now. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the whole reason why we coach the game, the whole reason why these guys play the game is to have fun. So what we started seeing as guys was having fun because we're pressing because we weren't winning. And it's not the end cause, it's not always about winning, but it's about making sure that you enjoy what you do and do what you enjoy. And so I always get back to playing basketball.
The playoff run starts tonight, Coach. We're excited about the possibilities. All the best tonight and through the postseason run.
All right, thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment with all the game action right here on Bay County TV.
I thought that Delta was going to be a little bit different. I was going through a transition from being in the military, being told what to do every second of the day, where to be, what to wear, to you're going to college, where you're supposed to be in class, you're supposed to be learning, but no one's holding you accountable for that stuff except for you. You went from a completely organized world to you have to take full responsibility for all your actions. And that was a hard transition. I thought I was going to come here and it was kind of going to be the same way, and it really wasn't. But because there's different faculty members here that actually care, it made the transaction a lot smoother.
Go ahead, think big about your future. Visit delta.edu.
And now let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's game. First of all, for Oakland Community College. Starting at guard, 6'1", sophomore from Detroit, number 1, John Slater. Starting at guard, 5'11", sophomore from Brookfield, number 5, Xavier Reynolds. At guard, 6'3", sophomore from Detroit, number 11, Kevin Fletcher. At forward, 6'4", sophomore from Detroit, number 20, Justin Parker. And at forward, 6'5", freshman from Keble Harbor, number 21, Zachary Eisenberg. And now the starting lineup for the Delta College Pioneers. Starting it on the wing, 6'2", sophomore, number 0, Brandon Rocket. At guard, 6'1", freshman Craig Flint, number 2, Goliath Mitchell. At guard, number 11, 5'9", freshman from Saginaw, Aaron Collins. On the wing, 6'4", freshman from Saginaw, number 22, Anthony Sanders. And the forward, 6'11", sophomore from Essexville, number 44, Evan Anderson.
Good evening and welcome back. A little bit different in the second game, gentlemen, as there's 20-minute halves here. Jeff Doan and Mike Wisdala, TJ Newsham, glad to have you along as the tip is strongly controlled, Mike.
It sounds like
Delta.
a volleyball slab.
He got it. That's what his main focus was.
He definitely got it. Trying to move the ball around. Brackett's going strong to the hole and able to finish with a kiss off the glass.
Brackett is a undersized post player is what how they use him. He got the ability to rebound down low, body up down low. Doesn't let the size really slow him down at all.
Boy, the speed of the game is big difference from the first game. As another kiss off the glass for the Oakland team as Fletcher gets the first deuce for Oakland Community.
You're going to have a well-oiled neck, Jeff, because you're going to get up and down the floor. Nice job by Anderson there.
Well, he could have gone up with the left. He used that rim as a defender, and TJ was able to make it happen on the front side.
So you're going to watch the Delta College. They like to do a little dribble drive. They like to get the screen at the top. And that gentleman right there, number 2, Goliath Mitchell, is a scorer, folks. He is a scorer.
He is prolific. When he's feeling it. That was a nice little teardrop, too. That's a tough shot, Mike, from about 5'6" feet.
That's a really tough shot. Nice soft touch and going up straight and dropping it in. 6-2 for the Pioneers here early in the first half.
Boy, a nice closeout to make that not an easy shot. And we're going the other end with the first foul of the ball game. Love the energy early for Delta, TJ.
I tell you a couple things. You know, Goliath comes down and it gets a nice assist to Evan. Evan finishes it down low. That defense respects Goliath. When you average 22, 23 points a game and have that capabilities, you're going to draw those guys. And he made the right decision. The next time down, he was able to take another good decision and put a little teardrop in.
Boy, trying to make it happen as they go strong to the hole. Anderson sends it back up top where they'll reset the show here. Shot clock down inside 10. Looking for a better shot, a little crossover, sending it up. Nothing much happening there. And we're going to have an Oakland Community foul as it'll be their second of the ball game.
I think that was one of your delayed whistles there, kind of waiting to see. It was
it's either one. I thought we might have been up at the top level. It just took long to get up to us, but nice job there by number 22, Sanders, for the Pioneers. Is going to get rewarded with 2 free throws.
I thought he was going to shoot the first one. He almost seemed to hesitated and brought it back down, which made the shot difficulty. And as you know, this isn't figure skating. This isn't ice skating. There's no points of
style,
technicality, difficulty, nothing of that sort.
0 for 2 at the free throw line. So we're about 2 minutes into our first quarter. Delta up 6-2 right now. Very impressed with their energy on the defensive end, Mike.
They get after it. They really get after it.
We're going to have a jump ball off the alternate possession. It's going to go back over to Oakland.
You know who Brackett reminds me of back when I was coaching out here? Remember a young man by the name of Murphy, Sheldon Murphy from Saginaw, Newville? Plays exactly the same. Plays big, not very tall, but plays big. It's solid on defense.
That's a great comparison, actually. Great comparison. Down to 5 on the shot clock.
Flashing back to the days Anderson gets the rebound when Coach Guizdala was down there on the bench.
2 years.
Anderson trying to go strong to the hole, and that ball was tipped away. And we'll go back over to the Pioneers with 17 and 35 left in the first.
You know, they do their out-of-bounds play, and I like it. They almost just beat you to the spot. They want to be quicker than you. And if you fall asleep for 1 second on the defensive side of it, that's when, in that particular case, Ant Sanders comes right behind it.
Well, and the key to that, as soon as he gets the basketball, they start moving. They're moving before he even gets the basketball. And they cut hard.
Well, and it's like the trail coming on the screen play as the 3 ball goes up, and it's a little bit long. Long rebound coming down to Reynolds. Reynolds doesn't see a whole lot there. What transition defense again by Delta as they get back into the spot. Nearly 3 minutes played of the first. A little spin back across the hole. Superb defense that time by Brackett.
Brackett did a nice job. Kept his ground, went vertical.
Trying to go to the inside. Ooh, Brackett looked like he tweaked his ankle just a touch going to the hole.
Yeah, that's not a good. That's something that if you're talking in the last week of the season trying to get ready for the tournament, you don't want to have another injury, potential tough. Injury.
Do you just reach down right now, Mike, and just tighten your shoe up a little bit?
Yes, you do. He's not very comfortable right now.
He's a little ginger on that, and they're certainly going to bring him out as soon as he makes this free throw. Nope, he's going to be coming in for Brackett here. If Brackett can make this second free throw, I think he'll adjust and make this one at the line and be able to hobble off the floor. Comes up short and can't get it.
That's 0 for 4 so far early in the game, and it's only 3 minutes in, but you know they're going to be as important as anything else.
That'll certainly be something that we're going to keep our eye on if that's a difference down the stretch. And they're starting to call things just a little bit tight and trying to clear just a little bit of space.
MVP Jesse Torres is going to go to work right now, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And I told him about that before. I said, hey, we really want to, give you a lot of praise. And he's like, I don't want it. Unfortunately, as Fletcher there, another drive and kiss off the glass.
Fletcher with a nice finish, and it's 6-4 as Delta's into that offensive set. Mitchell trying to find a little bit of room. There's a bump, and that is going to be a foul on Kevin Fletcher. Now, Mike, we talked in the first game. They let him play ball. Now, early on, you've got to adjust your style because they're calling it tight.
They are calling it tight. We talked about in the pregame, it's a physical league, Jeff, but they are calling it tight, trying to set the tone early are the referees.
Coach will like that play right there, a little flex coming out of the timeout.
Extra spin move that time by Mitchell. Couldn't get the deuce on the teardrop to come down. Good again. Defense is moving their feet very well and then leaving them wide open for a 3-ball, and that is the recipe for disaster as Johnny Schlater was frothing at the mouth. At the other end, Anderson with a little slam, bam, jam, and then a little bit of verbiage after, which picked him up a tee.
You saw it coming. He saw that referee at the midcourt was just lasered in on that, fellas.
But I tell you what, you're looking at the fouls right now. You got 5 and 2.
Yep.
You make a great play like that. It picks up your bench.
Sure does.
You're going to live with it. You got to live with it. It's going to be a personal foul on you. But you want to know what? It's the type of thing that he likes to do. He needs that. And if he gets a situation where he can ride that a little bit more, it's going to be a good thing for the Pioneers.
Well, Coach McMath is talking to that official that called it. He's getting his say in. He said, it's a very emotional game. We're on the cusp of possibly getting into the playoffs. We got to go down the Mott here not too far away, play against Steve Schmidt. You all know what that's all about. I think he's been there since day one also, Coach.
Absolutely, and he does a fantastic job down there. And,
man, they're tough.
But Coach McMath on the flip side is trying to make this the equivalent and make sure that these kids are not heading south for their basketball careers.
All right, something tended to at the table. They've got it all figured out. It's 9-8 right now as Oakland Community has the 1-point lead as Delta tries to strap it up defensively. And great heads-up play that time with a reach-in by Aaron Collins, lightning quick. He touched the ball last, though, and it goes back out with 17 ticks left.
They get after you.
And the judge, Antoine Jobert, the ex-Michigan basketball player and Detroit Southwestern high school star. Been here 11 years. He's going to talk to his kids. We'll take a break and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
The mayor of Midland came over and said, we need a better way to train our persons involved in the water and wastewater field. And so I got together with some local wastewater treatment personnel, and we put together the program here at Delta. There are only 2 in the state. The program's been going since the middle 90s of the last century. And the purpose of this program was to provide the water industry with entry-level persons to be able to act as operators in the water or wastewater treatment plants. Now, we have people in other fields. They can go into sales in the water industry. They can go to work for a private sector. Most of our students go into the municipalities involved with water and wastewater treatment plants. Getting up in the morning and coming to Delta College, I just enjoy being in that classroom. One of the things that always pops up on my evaluation is Sharp always answers a question with a question. And it's just that interaction with students, watching them learn, just enjoy the small class sizes and the interaction with the faculty. And so that's what pumps me up every day after I have my first cup of coffee.
At Delta, you can take the first step towards achieving your dream. Go ahead, think big. Apply today.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Mike Wisdala and TJ Newsham along with you, trying to race that thing into the middle, and there is nowhere to go in the middle. As Delta really doing a great job verticality, and it's going to be an offensive foul. Was trying to go strong to the hole.
Little hook.
Was Kaylon Brown, and he had the old hooker, line, and sinker in.
Well, I tell you what, that also puts them at 6 fouls for the half, so the rest of the half, as long as Delta maintains their physicality, are going to be able to get some free throw opportunities.
Got another player just into the ball game, Trey Newsham, for Delta into the game. And again, TJ, these officials are clamping down early and often.
Well, I tell you right now, you talked about Antoine Jobert. He's looking up. He's pointing up at that. He's now 7-2. But here's the thing. Move your feet. Get your hands out of there. If you don't have your hands in there, you're not grabbing somebody. It's not a foul.
Play defense with what?
With your feet.
That's absolutely right. He's getting a say in, and he's got a point. 7-2, the foul discrepancy, but he's getting a say in. Referee's giving him a say. And you know what? You have to make that sit in that referee's mind.
First free throw made tonight for Delta. The official is going to let him talk because the official started at midcourt and he walked in front of him to allow him to finish. Very nice job of officiating.
Yeah, I mean, coaches are into this game. These kids are playing hard, and so are the coaches. The coaches are coaching hard.
15-25 left in our first half of play.
Miscommunication by Delta. Almost left another wide open shooter there.
I think nice recovery is the way I was looking at it.
Nice closeout.
As the shot goes up, a little 12-footer. Nothing there, and look at the big-time rebound by Sanders as he had great position. Down at the other end, strong to the hole with the finish. Number 10, Chaz Woods with the deuce.
I tell you, back down that last shot, one of the things I want to say as a coach and see as a coach, as we get a little foul there on Delta on the and one, I want to see you go off the dribble. Most players don't work hard going off the dribble and drill, so if you can get them in a situation where Chaz had a great closeout there, make that guy go in, and you know what? He went a little short. We got a rebound for the Pioneers, and we're able to exit into our transition.
Well, you got a situation there where the lead official was blowing the whistle. That's a trails call all day going from his area on a dribble to the hole, but they both had the same thing. Trying to get that ball down. A bounce pass was around the ankles and not the way that you wanted to run that break. Not good spacing. And it's tied at 12 with just under 15 left in our first half of play.
I see communication right now is something that needs to get shored up by the Pioneers. Defensively, they're having a little bit of miscommunication. On the offensive side of it, they're getting a little too deep. They're not communicating their lanes, and unfortunately have turned the ball over a couple more times than they'd like to.
couple of the players for Delta have had the late switch, Mike, but they seem like they recover well.
Yeah, they do recover well, Jeff. And the nice hedge right there by the Delta College Pioneer, but Kevin Fletcher with the crossover got in between the two defensive players and took it to the rack. So that's something that they work on a daily basis. When you see that hedge, you got to cross over really quick and take it to the rack.
Set the defenders up, was able to get his body turned, got his shoulders, got everything going to the basket.
Got it squared. And you look at this Raider team, Metro Detroit, that's where he's getting all his kids from.
And that's exactly the neighborhood he loves to recruit. And he knows it very, very well, having grown up in that area, gone to Ann Arbor to play college, and certainly given kids an opportunity to make something of themselves. Great high-low game right there for the Deuce.
Really nice. Nice pass, great hands.
That was one of the first opportunities in a couple of minutes here where they were able to get into a half-court set. That was important right there. They like to get that high ball screen, as we got a shoe malfunction there.
Well, don't say malfunction. Yeah, don't say malfunction. That was last week's. The shoe just came off.
Oh, man.
Now 3-on-2 numbers going strong to the hole, a little bit out of control. Just in time to come back and do a nice bounce pass to Langford, as it'll be a deuce at the line.
That was a dime
for Delta.
You know, that's exactly what he meant to do.
He did.
Of course it is.
He did.
Any point guard would say that.
First of 2 free throws.
You know, and what I like about this game so far, fellas, is both squads on the bench and the kids on the floor. They're into it. The coaches are into it. Really exciting first few minutes here in the basketball game between Delta and Oakland.
Second free throw attempt is much better for Felton. Delta with a 2-point lead right now, 13:50 left in our first half of play. Delta again making it happen on the defensive end. A little bit out of control to the hole, but a finish that time for Fletcher.
Yeah, Fletcher's playing strong right now.
He got bumped too.
He did, yeah. Well, you know what? He's got the majority of the points here for Oakland here early, and he's he knows what he's doing.
And you're not going to get him. They're not going to call some of those fouls in this league.
Is again going strong to the hole. Going to end up with 2 at the free throw line. That's Chaz Woods.
Yeah, Chaz has a great drive there on the baseline. Again, I thought maybe he was going to go up, and then he kind of held on to it, and it could have been a jump ball situation. I think that's what Coach Joe Beer from Oakland was calling. But fortunately for Chaz, he was able to get the foul and he get the chance to put some balls in the basket.
Well, you know something, I haven't seen Chaz in a while, and I definitely haven't seen Trey. Those two young men have grown up since the last time I've seen them. So they got more facial hair than I've ever had in my life. What's going on there? Holy cow, have they gotten big?
They've done growed up.
Yes, they have.
For certain. Again, Delta in the first half, Mike, has not shot the ball well at the free throw line. So they say right on cue. If Jeff says that,
you should say it every time now.
Yeah, I'll start saying it more often. Into the front court comes the Oakland Community College Raiders, down by 1.
2-3
Long
matchup.
time, 3 ball from deep downtown, tickling the twine. Fletcher has just done it all in the first half. And Coach McMath wants a timeout. Didn't like the way his team was going to attack that full court pressure. We'll be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
The reason that Delta was a great fit for me is because it pushed me to get out of my comfort zone. It pushed me to think about what I wanted and make that happen. I made it a launching pad for the rest of my education, and I made it a launching pad for my career. There's so much support here, and there's such a wide variety of classes where you can really try a little bit of everything. Like, even though I studied journalism, I took a ceramics class, and it was my favorite class probably one of my favorite classes I took at Delta.
At Delta, you can take the first step toward achieving your dream. Go ahead, think big. Apply today.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan, Mike Wisdala, TJ Newsham along with you as they go into the offensive set here. As we've got number 3 just into the ballgame. You just filled us in who that young man is.
Cooper Benson joined the team right around Christmas time when they were struggling with some injuries. Very serviceable from Cadillac. Came here as a golfer. And,
I remember him.
Yeah.
back when they played Garber in
there you go. The
over at
quarterfinals.
Mount Pleasant, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
I remember him. He was a good player.
That's a multi-sport athlete, that young man is. He can trade in the golf clubs. And what did we just have there? A little slam down to the basketball, and I don't know if the officials saw what happened. And so Coach McMath wants an explanation.
I do like, so Delta calls a timeout. We talk about this all the time. Oakland comes back out.
Do something different.
Do something different.
Yep.
No press. Get it back. Let them waste that entire timeout trying to figure out how to break it, just to come back and go, hey, you know what? We're just going to go half court, man.
Yeah, just hold that thought, guys, for the next time they go into it and see how many of them remember.
Well, another thing
how many of us are right?
Well, another thing to note is the next foul by Oakland will put Delta into the double bonus for the rest of this first half.
Well, I don't know if that's good or not, though, the way they've been shooting free throws. They have not done themselves any favors in the first half. After the Collins miss at the other end, ball nearly knocked away.
I really like John Slater for Oakland. He's just a hard ball player, strong, physical, can shoot the ball, can defend, can handle the rock.
There is that nice little soft jumper from Brackett.
That was a nice
just
pull-up.
off the mark.
You know, Chaz has been really working on that game, that pull-up jumper off the dribble. We talk about it. He works at it. He puts that time into it. You know, one of these times he's just going to get a couple in the drop, get that confidence rolling, and the rest of the game will continue to improve.
Well, next time you can take it to the rack, Coach. If he pulls up and he makes it, they got to respect it. Then he can take it to the rack going for the layup.
Right, absolutely. You got to shoot it. You got to shoot it to prove you can shoot it.
Yep.
Got a little nickel dimer down on the baseline. I think they're going to get 44 Anderson.
That'll be his second, so he's going to take a seat as Felton comes back into the game for the Pioneers. Pioneers wearing their home gray uniform.
Now, they're called white by the officials, but you're certainly right.
They just got
in black and white TV, they're white, but these are gray.
They got a brand new set of white uniforms. I was kind of looking forward to them unveiling them again. There's that cut through by Fletcher again.
Well, he's tough.
Yeah, very.
As the finish that time by Justin Parker. And at the other end, running the floor well and getting to finish is Felton, the 6'7" from Flint. Just keeping the home team right in it.
That rim running action is so important. Stretch that defense, make that defense move, and when they don't get back, you see what happens.
You know, when your big guys are running the floor like that, that is absolutely huge when they do that. And they get a lot of easy baskets, and that helps them. It helps the game a little bit also.
That's more of a North Carolina, you know, Tyler Hansbrough, all the big guys that have played for Roy Williams down there. Get out. If you want to score easy baskets, get to the basket on that break.
Well, watching this game, I'll tell you what, neither team has been able to adjust and adapt to what I think is an extremely tightly called first half of this basketball game by the three and stripes out there, but they must have felt the need to get after it early and often, and the kids haven't quite figured that out, TJ.
Well, you either adapt to it or you're going to be on the bench with your fouls. You're going to be sidelined. So it's very important that they readjust themselves, but on the other side of it, keep driving. Keep that pressure on them.
Point out, Trey pulls up. Looked like TJ, taught by TJ.
I remember that one. I remember
Trey with his
I'm in the
first
scoring
game.
column.
I saw that many times when I was head coaching that young man.
Long three ball halfway down. Felton with great position defensively on the rebound. Into the offense again. Down a deuce. Triple
Nice
penetrate, look under to Felton, and he's able to find it off the high glass for the deuce.
I tell you, one of the things that we talked about is finishing inside. They're getting the looks, but they're finishing the inside looks too. They're not getting at the free throw line. That 15-foot stuff has got to go, but their inside stuff is really, really strong right now.
Felton's got nice hands.
Slater looking to dribble penetrate. Nice job that time by Trey Newsham. Shot is missed and the long rebound. I tell you, once Felton gets his hands on the ball, there isn't anybody going to take it away from him.
No, he's like a big bear in there.
Has a little teardrop. Fight for the loose ball. Might as well take another one. You got it sized up from the first one, Mike, and it's
Tipped
down.
it to himself.
Yep.
Nice job right there.
Is that an assist, Mike?
Yeah, yes.
It is.
The point guard speak.
Oh, yeah. We got a different breed of men. We're mentally not right, point guards, I'm telling you.
You gotta have a different mindset.
Yes, you do.
As the shot goes up and in by number 11, Fletcher. As Fletcher continues to have a nice first half himself, 9:20 and counting left in our first half. We're all knotted up at 24.
He's getting downhill way too many times and way too much to Coach McMath's liking right now. Want to get the ball out of Fletcher's hands, but he's shown the ability to really
Nice
pass the ball
left
well.
hand.
Boy, Felton able to finish with the righty, able to finish with the lefty. He is just a handful, Mike.
And a nice pass. Nice entry into Felton to do that little left-hand baby hook.
Comes out with a help defense. Wide open for a 3 ball, and that usually means disaster, and it is again as Jalen Turner, the 5'9" freshman from Detroit, drops the try.
Again, we're going back now. Delta gets a chance to run their half-court set. Haven't ran a lot of it here in the first half.
No.
Look at that finish. Unable to get it to finish, but Felton gives the ball back with a nice little left-hand finish. It's to the hole for the deuce, and a timeout as Woods finishes. And Antoine Jobert says, T.O., baby, as it's going to be a Delta timeout. 28-27 back in a moment with the Delta by 1.
Delta helped me think big about pursuing my degree because first when coming into Delta, I was strictly nursing. That's all I wanted to do was be a nurse, and I thought that was great. But then throughout the course of just this first 2 months, I figured I didn't want to stop at nursing. I wanted to, yes, be a nurse, but I wanted to continue to be a nurse practitioner in dermatology. I anticipated that, yes, it would be hard, but people would be there to help me, and I've gotten exactly that. And also the professors want me to learn, and they're helping me do that. So everybody here is they just want to help you.
Delta College has more than 150 programs to choose from. One is perfect for you. Find it at delta.edu.
Out of the Delta timeout, Jeff Doan, Mike Wisdala, TJ Newsham. Glad to have you along on Bay County TV. With 8:24 left in our first half, Delta by 1. Mike, this has been entertaining.
Yeah, this has been a really good basketball games. Both ends of the floor, both teams, defense, offense, getting after it. Like the physicality of this, and here we come out out of the timeout, Coach. What are you looking at? A little change-up by the Pioneers.
Change-up, you know, and it's one of the things that Coach McMath likes to do. He likes to call timeouts after a made basket and then change something up, give those guys a little bit of a break. They did put Evan Anderson back in. He does have the 2 fouls, so giving Felton a little bit of a break, who gave a really, really strong effort there.
Well, it took him almost 9 seconds to get across the timeline. Does not give you tons of time to get into your offensive set. Anderson does a nice job not picking up number 3. Double backside rebound. We're going to have jump ball off the alternate possession. It goes back over to Oakland. And, you know, coming out of that timeout, Jobert saw what was going on. He kept 4 people over on the bench for another 4 or 5 seconds to give him one last word of encouragement.
Nice job by Anderson closing out, keeping his feet. These kids from Delta College are very well coached, TJ.
Oh, absolutely. He's done a great job with them. He coaches them to their strengths.
As Collins right now is looking for that Anderson screen. Just got it a split second late to get it down to Anderson low. Trey Newsham dribble penetrates, extra pass into the corner. Now they tried to get the bounce pass. Good look of a pass to Anderson, was just knocked out of bounds.
You know, one thing we haven't noted, Brackett still on the bench since that injury, fellas.
As the ball knocked away, Trey turning around looking, he said, man, thought that one got me a whack on the arm. But no call, you got to go back and play defense.
You got to not put the ball on the floor either. You know, a lot of bad things can happen.
A lot of quick hands on the floor when that certainly happens indeed. 7:15 left with
Who
a
else?
hand in the face. Who is it? Maybe Fletcher.
Yeah, it's going on a whim.
Boy, I'll tell you, he's been impressive in the first half as we're down to 7 minutes and counting left. There is the man to the hole, and he was just in between steps, TJ. He couldn't finish the way he wanted, but it was still strong.
He slammed the backboard, though. Something was going to get slammed.
That was a nice play.
Oh, great play. Great setup. Great patience.
That can't go. That's not the shot they're looking for. Long rebound, though, comes back down. And we're going to have a late whistle. Got definitely some officials tonight that are calling a very, very tight game. And it's all knotted up at 30, so no team's really got the advantage. But you look up there, and there is a ton of team fouls for both teams.
Well, you know, Oakland's been stuck at 9 for a while. They've really done a great job of keeping their hands clean, moving their feet on defense, not giving the referees a reason to make that blow that whistle.
You know, it's nice watching these young men. You know, they're very athletic in the way they go about their business, fellas. They're getting down in their stance on defense. They got the hops. They got the nice jump shots. They're physical. They are really playing hard, and both of these squads are fun to watch.
I like the way they run that play, too, off of the rebound to let that third man on the line slide up as the first guy, just seals the defender away. A miss. Anderson uses his athleticism. Now Strong to the hole with a little teardrop, unable to finish as the rebound comes down to number 10, Randolph.
I think Goliath would like that one back. Just a quick second one, because he realized he was going 1-on-4 there. He wasn't. Everyone else was kind of still going toward half court, almost transitioning themselves to the defensive side.
Nice opportunity to try to get that ball to Trey Newsham on the wing. He had some room to roam. Just a great defensive play to knock it out of bounds. Still got plenty of time on the shot clock with 24 seconds.
We talked about how Delta needed to approach this as a playoff game. I feel the playoff intensity. There's no question about March. March is.
This is intense.
Trying to get away as Woods able to recover. Trying to roll that thing around as they go into Anderson. Back to Woods in the corner. Can't get the trifecta to drop, but had a good look and a good opportunity. +1 going Strong to the hole. Look at that, laying on the front of the iron and dropping back in for Randolph.
That's a good take. It was Strong.
He definitely went to the hole with a purpose.
A lot of exchanges there, wing-to-wing exchange for Delta. Trying to get that ball screen action for Anderson as they do another dribble handoff. Still looking to get Anderson on a slip.
Nice looking 3 ball off the mark. Newsham wide open from 18. Puts it up just a little bit short. And with 5:05 and counting left in the first half, that's offense. That's a good call. That off arm was used to clear out real estate, and he had plenty.
Yeah, that was a good call by the official, Jeff. Good defense by the Pioneers.
You know,
five. Go ahead, TJ.
Yeah, we talk about shooting. You notice the last shot Newsham had in the corner, everything was kind of going backwards. The pass, the body, the shot gets left short. It's one of those things where we talked about it earlier. Make sure you're getting into a rhythm, going to the basket, get that momentum going up.
Look who's back in. Mike was all over that as soon as he came off the bench. It's Brackett to try and test that ankle again and see how things are going.
I'll tell you, that's a gutsy call and a gutsy non-call. A lot of contact there.
Yes, there was.
Trying to move around right now. Delta still with 10 on the shot clock. Great look underneath the bracket. And a knock away by Reynolds on the backside.
Yeah, Reynolds got away with a couple. I thought he went across the body a couple of times, and that one again, he went through the left to get to the right. 8 seconds on the shot clock.
So now they get that ball underneath the bracket. 5 seconds left. They don't have much time to go. Strong to the hole with a finish. Great job that time. And the finish
Brackett
by
goes
Mitchell.
Goes high side the screen, and he goes low side and puts it in for the layup. So kind of a little setup right there, and didn't use the screen.
Read that defender.
Yep.
You come off that screen, head up, eyes up.
And that ball's going to go back over to Delta, as they've got an opportunity for the first time in a while, Coach, to get the lead back in this game.
Yeah, this has been a little bit of a lull for the Pioneers, but they've hung around, done some nice things, and Brackett coming back into the game is a nice plus for the Pioneers.
He adds an element. He really does. It's nice to get a guy like that coming off of an injury. We weren't sure how severe it was, but just to get him back on the court with some bounce.
And it won't take long until he gets an opportunity to make his first shot, as the last one was knocked away. There's what you know, looking to the hole, making it happen with a kiss off the glass for the deuce. And a chance to go to the free throw line to finish it off the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, we talked about it just a second ago. You want to read your defender. They're expecting a screen, so they almost start cheating up a little bit. But then when you go into the drive, that double arms over the ball. Make sure you're protecting the ball. He already had one knocked away. This time he went a little bit stronger. Guy was a little too deep. It could have been a charge had they been just a little more outside that circle.
Yep, that circle in college, it makes a big difference. I had to block all night anyway, and that's not because his dad's standing next to me.
Well, his first game back, Aiden wanting to see how he's going to recover and how he's moving with the Achilles issue, and looks like he's got some good flow right now.
He's moving good.
Oh, by the way, a 2-point lead for the Delta Pioneers right now with 3:45 left in our first half of play. Nice switch defense again. Down to 10 seconds on the clock as they come back across and getting lost just a second back there defensively and missed the rotation. Easy deuce for Oakland.
Well, Trey had to help because there was a mismatch there, and they just kind of snuck in the back door. So, it was a good pass and a good play.
That was a great setup by Oakland.
Yeah, it was.
They knew where they wanted to get the ball to.
As the shot goes up and the miss. And the second opportunity, they're going to call it verticality defensively, and I like it. Great job defensively that time by Trey Newsham. Open in the corner, and that means disaster most of the time because Randolph knocks open the three.
That was good defense, too. He came out and just challenged the shot, and young man just made it deep in the corner, in the far corner.
There's not a lot of hesitation on some of these guys' shot. It's going up.
As Trey Newsham puts the shot up, and it's a double clanger off the iron. 2.5 left in the first half. Running the floor, it's Justin Parker, and he is the recipient of an easy deuce.
You miss a shot, quick three-point shot, not a bad shot, just misses it, gives up a quick transition. It's interesting to watch how they're coming off some of these screens, the defenders. We know that they're going to go low or they're looking to find that gap. Whose three-point shot are they respecting?
That's a big shot right
absolutely
there. They needed that one.
Anthony Sanders, the 6'4 freshman from Saginaw. As again, defensively, nice job with the reach-in and down the floor. It's going to come Delta 5-on-4 here, and we got a little cheapy reach-in. I think that time Reynolds knew that they were odd man numbers down the floor, Mike, and he just wanted to pick up a cheapie.
Well, they wanted the foul call down here, and they didn't get it. So then so we're going to be shooting.
And he picked up number 3.
He picked up number 3, and that's a big one.
I'm just not sure of that foul right there. I understand that you're looking at getting maybe stopping the clock, but if I got 2 fouls with 1:51 left here in half number 1, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to pick up a third one on a good foul, not putting Collins to the line.
Right.
As we go to the free throw line, up, down a point, opportunity to tie it here with $1:51 left in our first half.
I don't think Coach McMath can go into halftime thinking his guys left anything. I think they're leaving it all right there on the court.
Yep.
And we only got through one half. I can't wait for number 2.
Both teams with plenty of players, so they've been able to keep bodies fresh on the floor. I think Delta's rotated a little bit more as a long 3 by Fletcher. And then trying to come down at the other end. The ball will go back over to Delta. The big fella running the floor well. Ball just tipped away by Oakland.
Well, they got 90 seconds left here in half number 1. Down 3. Again, you want to finish this first half strong. Get a score here, get a stop on the defensive end. Try to go in with that momentum that you're looking for.
Fade away is missed. And Delta was safe to say they weren't going to get beat back defensively.
There's 2 of them back there.
There was no rim on that, so no shot clock reset. They've only got 8 seconds. Wide open for a 3 ball in the corner. Knowing what to do with it is Aaron Collins tickling the twine on the try.
Oh boy, another big hoop.
Yeah, they're keeping it right there. But if you're Oakland, how are you losing some of these guys? How are you giving up them open threes? They've been playing so well defensively.
Nice hedge.
Into the corner for the wide open 3 ball, and that is Turner with, I believe, his first 3 of the half. 43 seconds left. See if Delta can get a 2-for-1 here, TJ.
Yeah, I like the 2-for-1 here. I think going to the basket, trying to drive, do something quick. But
that's not going to happen now. Still going strong to the hole,
nice
and
take.
the foul on Parker. It's a nice strong move to the hole. We'll give them 2 at the line.
I would like to see that finish a little bit different. You know, you go in and you get your body and you're kind of leaving that one-handed out there with the ball. A lot of bad things can happen. You know, a little contact, you lose feel of the ball, and all of a sudden it's a knockaway versus a foul.
Make the defender go through you.
Yes, make them. Not saying it was a lucky call, nothing like that, but you just go in there, get them 2 hands on it, and
use your shoulder to protect yourself and let them run into you.
Absolutely.
Have a better chance of making. But a nice job by Woods in getting rewarded.
Looks like they're going to come with a little pressure now.
Coach Joe Barrett getting down over there on the sideline in his stance, trying to tell his guys. A little 2-2-1 action after made free throws by Woods.
And again, they forced them to use about 9 seconds to get across the timeline. Obviously, they're looking to take the last shot of the half.
I'm looking at Fletcher. I don't coach. You know, he's made plays happen. He's hitting deep threes, but it's his ability to as an all-around basketball player.
And I wouldn't leave him.
And they're not even going to let him touch the ball. And they're going to be shooting at the free throw line. It's still 1-1 though, with 2.4 ticks left in the half. And they are going to have this one on Benson.
And Slater, another young man from Detroit, shooting 1-1.
Boy, they got a nice stroke at the free throw line.
He certainly does.
Oh boy, comes way back.
Having fun. You know what?
That's what it's all about.
Having fun, I guess, is one way to phrase it. And it just cost them all that energy expended. And the shot up just short at the half. It's 47 for Oakland Community College, 45 for the Delta Pioneers. We'll be back in a moment at the half to take a peek at what happened. We'll set the stage for the second half right here on BCTV.
What excites me about my future? It just feels like it's bright. It feels like there's nothing I can't accomplish, and Delta helped me do that. The program was instrumental in helping me achieve the goals to equip me to be a physical therapy assistant. I think that there's just, the sky's the limit.
At Delta, you can take the first step toward achieving your dream. Go ahead, think big, apply today.
Back at the half on BCTV, Jeff Doan, Mike Wisdala, and TJ Newsham along with you. Playoff intensity in this ball game.
I'll tell you what, these two teams are getting after it, Jeff. You can tell it's late into the season. They're playing hard both ends of the floor. They're making their free throws. This has been a really, really good basketball. A lot of great players on the floor. This college basketball is all about right here. We saw a good first half.
Both teams just expending a ton of energy in that first half. Fortunately, both teams are deep, and that shouldn't be a factor down the stretch.
No, we talked about it in the pregame about how Delta was forced to develop a lot of their bench players, a lot of their role players that have come on strong, and you've seen that with Felton. I mean, Felton didn't get a lot of playing time early in the year, but he, bided his time. Unfortunately, came through an injury, but you want to know what? He went out there, played the best first half of the season, and I expect to see. Chaz is taking the ball strong, finishing it. He had a couple of jump shots in there. He's just making that defense have to respect him. Those opportunities may have come through an injury, but it's showing right now as we're heading into March.
Felton and Anderson both made their presence felt on the post in the first half, and that's big.
Yeah, and it was a great hustle by Felton running the rim, many times getting those easy baskets, and good transition offense by the Pioneers, good transition defense getting back. Oakland's tough. They can shoot the ball. They're very physical at the block, and, they put a little press on there once in a while. So two good teams, two athletic teams getting up and down the floor. And what I want people watching the second half, watch the defense of how these kids are getting in their stance. I mean, they are getting after it. They're down low. They're physical. But you know what? This is. I've been out here in a while. This is really good. Big treat for me. This is great basketball. It really is.
We talked about potentially the pregame MVP for Delta, and he's got his hands full with trying to get one of the prolific scorers back and healthy for the second half.
I tell you what, I was glad to see Trey come back. As you're watching them, you're always wondering how they're going to bounce. Same thing we were talking about Brandon with the ankle. Are you favored a little bit? Are you? That's when you hurt your other part of your body that right now seems healthy. But getting him back out there, letting him hit that first jump shot, I think was big for him, from a confidence standpoint, taking the ball to the basket, not really showing a lot of signs of slowing down or coming off the injured reserve. Brackett going out, getting back on Jesse right away. We called on him in the pregame.
MVP.
But I tell you what, you go back just in the first half, touch on this. Fletcher's got the majority of the points, and he's creating a lot of points for Oakland. He's doing a great job. Delta's got a lot of spread. They got a lot of points spread around, and that's one of the things where if Fletcher can get a little tired, and the other guys who haven't been getting their touches, you wonder how they're going to react in the second half.
No surprise this game's close. First game went down to the end to a 4-point game, so I look for a repeat in the second half.
If I remember correctly, it's kind of a little rivalry between Oakland and Delta. They usually get after it, even back when I was out here many moons ago. So they get after it. There's a little rivalry there, and it's just fun to watch these young men play as hard as they're playing, getting up and down the floor. And I'm going to ask the people who are tuning in, come on out to Delta College and get the $5 out or whatever it costs. And this is really, really good, solid basketball from kids. We're watching a lot of kids from Oakland, from the Detroit area, Great Lakes Bay region, well represented. Just a lot of fun watching these kids play.
It's great basketball. I can't wait for the second half. After this commercial break, we are going to be back with lots of fun in the second half right here on Bay County TV.
I chose this program specifically because it's actually recognized by this area's industry leaders as the premier training program from which they hire almost exclusively. So this is going to open a door for me to become a chemical process operator.
Think big about your future. Visit delta.edu.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Stone, Mike Guazdala, and TJ Newsham along with you. Delta with the first opportunity to start the second half down a deuce. This 20 minutes, Mike, is going to be fun.
Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. Anything like the first half is going to be a great basketball game.
Trying to dribble penetrate. Nice job defensively. And we're going to have an over and back. Not really the way that Coach McMath wanted that first possession to go.
They were deliberate. They were taking their time. They were trying to get something good, and unfortunately, you make a mistake, and all of a sudden, it gives Oakland the ball back with a 2-point lead.
Trying to come off a double screen. Nice job to hedge off of that screen. Anderson defensively's got 2. He needs to make certain that he doesn't pick up number 3. And a good job with post position for Justin Parker to be able to finish with a little Bambino hook.
Man, I'll tell you what, 6'4", 225, he's got some girth down there, and he's got some hops, and that was a nice, like you said, Jeff, a nice little baby hook.
I thought Evan did a nice job of pushing him a little bit further outside, too, on the catch. He just made a better play.
Down 4 again, almost a little shuffle of the Tootsies there. He might have got away with one. The officials let a little bump go on the Pioneer side, so maybe they talked at the half and decided the only way to catch their breath is to not blow the whistle. And there was a push-off. Got away with it. The ball doesn't lie. You don't get a basket from a push-off that wasn't called. At the other end, able to finish in style. Sanders, the recipient of a good one. Good spacing.
Yeah, absolutely, Jeff. Great spacing on that 2-on-1. Nice job, timeout, Oakland.
Oh, didn't like the way his team didn't get back on defense. We'll take a break and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
So I think Delta College has an advantage as far as nursing. We are highly respected in the community as far as our student nurses. One of the advantages is that our faculty, our full-time faculty, still have to go to clinical with their students. So they are seeing what's actually happening in the clinical environment and often bringing changes that are happening in healthcare back to the institution, in lab and in class. I'm very passionate about end-of-life care, and so in my nursing course, we actually have an end-of-life care simulation. Everyone needs to experience that, in my opinion, before they graduate. And so we do it here at Delta College in the simulation lab in a somewhat controlled environment, so students can see maybe how they're going to react not only on an intellectual level, but on an emotional level with the family member and the patient or client. When we bring out the emotional component to learning, students actually learn better.
Go ahead, think big about your future. Visit delta.edu.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan, Mike Wasdala, TJ Newsham, Jared and Natalie Doan on the cameras. Nick Page producing and directing in the first half. As I get a peek from the producer and director in the second half, she didn't let me finish. Natalie Doan is pushing all the right buttons in the second half here on BCTV.
You got to live with her, brother.
Oh, it's a thing of beauty. I love it all. Love my family. You know that.
I know you do.
On to the offense. Reynolds trying to come off a screen again. And again, very good defense. Anderson pushing him out and making certain that he isn't going to get an easy path to the hole. Great help defense. And again, after a missed shot, Delta coming down the floor and looking to come back and finish. Ball rejected away as Innisberg at the other end transition into a Fletcher try.
That was a nice block by Innisberg, the 6'5" freshman from West Bloom down in the suburbs of Detroit. Never gave up on the play, fellas, and that was a big block.
And that was a big three for Fletcher at the other end, too, as Delta answers.
Well, you know, Sanders right now is guarding him. He's guarding him on a face guard situation. So the only way he was able to get that ball is in that transition when Sanders wasn't able to transition back after the block shot. So big change right coming out is trying to make sure Fletcher has to work a little bit more. When you leave him open, though, he's going to make sure he leaves his mark.
But you know what, Mike? By making him work as hard as he is now, they're hoping that pays dividends in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, absolutely right, Jeff. Good point.
Going down to the corner, kind of running a little back screen action.
Sanders is definitely going to be around him. No call. Probably a good no call. Got there pretty late. Didn't affect the play as the Brackett got down there. But Brackett looks like he's running halfway decent here in the second half.
Looks good.
It's a good sign. That's a good sign, especially adds another bench member, another guy in the rotation. I mean, not just a bench member, but another rotation.
Anderson again. What a great job by Sanders to feed Anderson in a position where he could be successful.
And the bounce pass right where he could catch it, Jeff, right up about at the waist so he could go right up with it for the easy deuce. 6'7" guys don't like to bend over.
Is that a big man?
That's a big man.
That's a big man thing?
That's a big man thing.
Oh.
And another pass that just didn't get where it was intended. Quickly in transition, Fletcher wants to go to the hole. He pulls up with a little teardrop, and he was too close to the basket, Mike. He couldn't score from 10 feet.
Yeah, he likes about 21 out.
Trying to go strong. Brackett wide open in the corner, lets it fly. Double iron, can't get it to drop. In transition the other way.
I like Slater. I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
He knows how to play
Solid.
the game. He's out there. He's just out there just playing. That's what he does.
Yeah, that young man is a solid basketball player.
And it was under control to the hole, too, and he was able to finish.
And it was a step through. You know, he got under control and was able to take that jump stop into a step through.
At the other end, and oh my goodness, Slater was very fortunate. He goes, I'm getting out of the neighborhood before I'm in any way connected with slamming that ball down on the ground.
He kept his hands on top of the ball.
Yes, that's essential.
He put his body over it, his hands over it.
Boy, and I think, TJ, you saw one of those last week at a game I officiated over at Kramer. One of the young men from Carleton got a little bit exasperated and pounded one up about 15 feet in the air and forced my hand.
I tell you got officials like that. He finally got his technical foul, so it's going to be a technical foul on Slater. It's going to give another free throw, first off, to the shooter, and then they're going to get a couple more free throws for the technical, so.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to let it go.
As much fun as he was having earlier, that was kind of a little out of character because it was a foul. He fouled him. Let's not take away what it was.
Well, and he comes out of the ball game right now, too, because Antoine Jobert says you need to cool off for just a minute and regroup. He is much too valuable as another point given back at the free throw line, and now they're going to have Sanders shoot.
It should be the second of his of the initial one now.
He made the first one.
Right, made the first one, but
missed the second one. Now he's
technical. After the technical, however, shouldn't it be Delta's ball? I guess I'm confused on the ruling on that.
Doesn't he have another free throw to shoot on the shot?
No, he made the first one.
Missed the second.
Okay.
No, that was Goliath. They let Goliath go and
Okay,
shoot the
gotcha.
technical. There we go.
That's right. Yep.
So now they're coming in a little 2-2-1. Got Slater out of the game. Put number 5 Reynolds back in. He's got 3 fouls as well for the Raiders of Oakland Community College. Nice hands
Quick
by
hands. Brackett just with a little reach in there at the end, and when you compound a good play with a reach in, that makes the good play go null.
Well, you get the deflection, and you can't come up with it, and it goes right back to him, and it's a little frustrated. Yeah, absolutely.
Sending it up top. Back into the hands of Fletcher. Good help defense. Fletcher going strong to the hole. Can't get it to drop.
Nice pass.
Nice look down. Brackett's going to finish at the hole with great body control over Randolph for the deuce.
Nice pass, nice finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Woods recipient of Trey's long pass.
I can't tell the difference between that 10 and that 0 out there. They're both numbers look alike. I know the kids look a little bit different, but I'm looking at numbers. Those are small numbers on the jersey.
We got to do something with the manufacturers. Get Under Armour on the horn.
Yeah, we need those numbers at least 50% bigger.
You know what, fellas? Let's face the facts. You're getting old. You can't see.
Hey, wait.
Well, TJ's pointing it out, so he
Right.
must
You
be
grouping?
the young buck. 15 and 20 left in the ball game. We're all knotted up at 56.
Sanders gets a little bit of a rest. Newsham comes in for him, and now he gets the assignment of Fletch.
And another fresh body on Fletcher. That's certainly what you love to see. Pulls up from 15 as he just beats the buzzer again. Had to take one of those off-balance shots, so credit the defense for making him work and not getting a good shot.
No, and using that clock. Everybody knows the clock is running down. Good defense. Now they got to hurry the shot, get out of their comfort zone. Great defense by the Pioneers.
Back into the offensive set. They send the ball back up top. They'll reset the show.
Little patience there. Newsham had a wide-open shot attempt if he wanted it, but wants to run a little bit of the half-court set, run some clock, get a better shot.
How about Woods that time? As you talked earlier, needs to look offensively more for a shot. Great rhythm basket there for his deuce.
That was a great shot. He makes the layup, gets a little more confidence. It's amazing what that does to your game.
You know, another
ball's out of bounds, and it will go back over to the
Is
Delta.
that one of those situations where you can call a foul? You know, do you want the ball or do you want a foul? Because the amount of contact that was there, I understand as a coach, you know, the ball may not have gone off of your guy, but do you really want that foul in that situation? I say no. I just give him the ball.
Yep.
It's 14:29 left. It's a 2-point game.
Yeah, I mean, you want to save that foul for later in the ballgame. You want to try and keep your best 5 on the floor down the stretch.
Yes, exactly.
Ball inbounded. Mitchell into the game.
A little token full court by Oakland there.
I just like that tempo full court. Just make them waste 7-8 seconds before they get into the offense.
This is where
Woods
Chaz
again with a nice little spin move to the hole. Can't finish.
As I say, it's a shot right there that you knew he wanted to take, just to kind of, I wouldn't call it a heat check, but definitely wanted to give himself another opportunity.
That was a set play too, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Felton just working hard defensively. You got to credit the offense as Parker comes up with a nice deuce. Just under 14 minutes left in the ball game. Still knotted up at 58. This one has not disappointed us at all in this game.
Good
Look
caught.
at underneath the Newsham going up strong, getting the loose change and kissing it back off the glass is Sanders. Active Mike on the offensive glass.
Really a nice job there by Sanders, and a good cut by Trey going to the basket looking for that pass.
And we are going to have a jump ball off the alternate possession back over to Oakland.
Everything was set up offensively there. You know, Trey makes a cut, gets the pass. You know, first half, it's probably a foul. Second half, it's not a foul. So you adjust. Right now we got 4 total fouls called in the first, 7 minutes or 6.5 minutes.
Got to adjust.
But you want to know what? Felton there, great nose for the ball.
Yep.
He's been having a great game. We said he had a great first half.
He's been the best player on the floor. I inadvertently obviously called him Sanders, but he certainly has been very, very good. And just on cue, got a little active defensively, but I still like it when you make him, Fletcher, work that hard to get any shots off. He's out of rhythm right now, Mike.
You know, he's got a bullseye on his back, Fletcher does, and they're going to make him work for everything. Nothing's going to come easy for that young man the rest of this basketball game.
Trying to scoot the ball around, not ready for that pass. At the other end, strong to the hole with the finish is Robert Mitchell. Great body control. Did he use his body to defend against the defender and kissed it off the glass?
Goes up with the 1, gets it with the 2, gathers it, gets the contact. When the contact was coming through, both hands on the ball. Here's the whistle, and it's a simple layup.
You always go up with 2 hands just for that simple fact right there, because if you get fouled, you got 2 hands on the basketball. Nice job.
Ooh.
And those were big right there, 63-58. That's a big three-point play.
It's a little 5-0 run right now for Delta, and giving them probably their biggest lead of the ball game. Fighting for the loose ball down on the ground again as they shoot it back the other way. Unable to get the left hand to go, and it's 3-on-2 the other way for Oakland Community. Fletcher, a little nickel dime. I'll tell you what, Fletcher didn't even have to work hard for that. The officials have been letting them play all second half, but that one was right in front of Coach Jobert, and they were going to blow it.
Will picks up his 3rd foul for Newsham. You know, he's playing well, playing defensively. But you got to move your feet. You know, if he wants to go baseline, you stopped him from taking the quick 3, but you got to make sure you're moving your feet, get yourself into position, and take a charge. They are making
Fletcher
him work.
using that off arm, and he has had to work, and that shot goes in. But I'll tell you what, Mike, he has worked his tail off for that. It's his first basket in a while.
That wasn't an easy one either.
And they'll give him that shot, having to work that hard for it. He is going to be dogged by the stretch of this ball game. Oop, there's travel. Yep. Nice idea trying to get to the hole that time for Mitchell. He shuffled the Tootsies, and back into the game comes Felton.
63-60. Delta's ahead right now. 12:26 left here in the second half. Playing well. They're still. I don't think that they have gotten enough offensive flow in this half. They're doing a great job defensively. Get a little bit more of that half court set. Get some more looks at it.
Boy, nice job. Delta gets back and averts an easy basket at the other end with 12 minutes and change left in the ball game. And you can see them running different people. Now Mitchell's going to be on Fletcher. Fletcher turns around and just a little turnaround fade away from 12, and he's able to finish.
That young man's a basketball player.
Junior college basketball. It's like NBA.
It is.
Ride the guy. Hot hand.
You got to feed him.
He's been the hot hand all game long, no question. Woods is trying to dribble penetrate, sliding the ball back into the corner. Underneath the Felton.
And displacement.
Yep. Little hip check. Little hip check.
2 minutes.
And he's like, I didn't even touch him. Nope, you used that body and used your hip to displace him.
Yep.
They try and let that one get away, but when you got that third official on the floor and you're down in the blocks and he's right in front of you, you're not going to get away with that very often. Trying to get that ball underneath the Felton. Boy, from an impossible angle, going up strong. And we're going to have a Delta timeout. We're going to take one as well and be back in a moment. Delta by 3 on BCTV.
My classes here at Delta have been really exciting, honestly. A lot of them I walk in not knowing what to expect, but the teachers they're willing to help you outside of class, in class. They make you not feel afraid to ask questions in class. And that was one of my biggest problems before, was asking questions in class. And now I'm more into it. My pre-cal class that I had with Habib Khalil, it really stood out to me because he was one of my first teachers to actually push me. It was very interesting. He taught me a lot about myself that I didn't know. And it was through a simple math class. And now I feel like I'm ready for any class after his. Although it was just a pre-cal class, it was it had more meanings to it.
Go ahead, think big about your future. Visit delta.edu.
Back here on Bay County TV. Mike, you tell us all about this great man here.
You know, Lynn Conway was the first athletic director ever out here at Delta College, Jeff, and he was out here for a long 38 years and one of the nicest men that I ever had the opportunity to work for, and he was Mr. Delta College. Don Carline was the president at the time when I was working out here. Man, what a great experience. Two great guys.
He definitely had passion.
Certainly did.
For this college. Into the front court now comes Delta. Fletcher was lucky he didn't get a cheapie there. Going strong on the baseline was number 10, Chaz Woods.
Dribbling with your eyes up, see a cutter, hit the cutter, let the cutter finish the shot. Great job all around.
5-point lead again. Delta continuing to try and be like a 5-point lead. Nice job of jumping out, double teaming on Fletcher. As again, the Delta defense has got that shot clock down to 10. We walked. Exactly. A great call by the lead official down on the baseline. As a turnover gives the ball to Delta, up 5 with possession.
Nice defensive stand right there by the Pioneers.
This is a huge possession for them offensively if they can go up 7 or 8 here as we near the halfway point of our second half. Down on the baseline as they go back to Felton, and Felton couldn't get the ball strong, so they decide to start that off again. Is great job that time by Woods, realizing how much time is left. Into the corner for a wide open 3 ball. Off the mark that time by number 11, Collins. And we know what's going to happen there more often than not. But it was a miss, that time a rarefied miss. He's a little tired. That's probably why Sanders thought about it. Dribble penetrates. Trey Newsham in the corner for the 3 ball. Off the mark, but a great look.
Well, it was good offense. You know, they had the extra pass. It was a good-looking shot. Just didn't go down. But overall, I like that little half-court offense right there by the Pioneers.
Boy, and Fletcher just got both of his tootsies across that timeline before he was handed the ball. Again, down to about 11 on the shot clock. The Delta defense is making them work. Nice spin move to the hole for the finish. And we'll go to the free throw line. I didn't see a whole lot there.
I think the question for the players now, you start wondering, you know, what's a foul, what's not a foul. You go through, okay, everything's a foul. Then you go through the first 5-6 minutes of this half, and you're going, okay, that's not a foul. And now all of a sudden you're back in a situation where, and you don't want to be a thinker out on a basketball court.
How many times do you have to adjust to the ever-changing style that the game is being called?
You know, we should know, and officials should know this. Whatever you call, it's got to be consistent.
Stay with it. We're going to time out on the floor, Oakland. We'll take a break as well and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
I am a full-time mother. I needed something that I could work with and also do. And the fact that they offered a full associate's degree completely online and that I did not have to attend any in-class was very helpful. Delta College has shown me that I can return to school, I can get the degree, and I can move forward.
Think big about your future. Through Delta College, you can achieve your dream.
Back on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan, Mike Guazdala, and TJ Newsham along with you. As again, not long enough in the timeout to get everything in. Delta up by 2 with possession here, 9:40 left in the game.
A lot of basketball left to be played, fellas.
We anticipated this would go right down to the wire, and I don't think we'll be disappointed.
I was kind of wondering what if Oakland was going to do a little something different coming out of the timeout.
Trying to roll around right now. Is going strong to the hole. And stepping out of bounds is number 2, Robert Mitchell. And again, good verticality, at least what the officials called good verticality defensively.
Pioneers going to stay in that 2-2-1 3/4 court trap.
Really, it's, I think they're just trying to make Fletcher work a little bit more.
Slow it down a little bit.
And of course, they don't do a 10-second count in the backcourt. They just go off of the shot clock. So if they can get it down to 20, they know at 10 seconds is up.
And again, there's the double team. Just about had the tie up. Fletcher trying to go to the hole. Sanders doing a great job. And another walk. And I think Fletcher's a little frustrated right now because he's having to work so hard for his points.
Well, in a couple of those timeouts, Coach McMath saying, hey, Fletcher's the man. We got to keep an eye on him. Nothing comes easy. If he goes to the hole, we're gonna make him work for it.
And the rotating fresher bodies on him.
Yep.
Wow, guys, you just took my thunder away. From Mitchell to Newsham to Sanders. As now they've got a steal, trying to make an easy one underneath. It's now going to reset the offense as Mitchell. They're going to have a free possession here. Hopefully they can finish. Strong to the hole and unable to finish as Mitchell had a little 5-footer.
Not what Coach wanted out of a turnover. After coming off of a basket, there's a lot of things going positive right there. We don't need to manufacture something. Let's get something in our half-court set. It's working.
And at the other end,
I'll tell you, Keyline Brown is a load. That young man, 6'3", goes 235, sophomore out of Detroit Southeastern. He's a player.
He's got some nice bounce, too, soft bounce. For a guy that size, he's got some ability.
He's a big fella, but he's got some nice moves and a very good touch around the basket.
He could have played for us.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Got to make his free throws.
First free throw off the mark with 8 and 10 left in the ball game.
You don't have to make any when you're 6'3", 235.
Kalen Brown from Detroit Southeastern.
Check back in for the Raiders is John Slater. After his technical foul, Coach Joe Bear took him out for a little bit, had a little sit-down time.
A little coaching moment.
Think about what you did, son,
Sure.
and let's get you back out there.
There you go.
Let's see what kind of fresh energy he brings to that Oakland defense. As they try and move the ball around, Newsham deep on the wing. Trying to think about going to the hole. Collins dribble penetrates back to Sanders. Sanders finds a little gap to the hole. Again, great move and unable to finish.
He's really nice around the basket.
There's Fletcher, and that's not where you want to see him. Backside rebound again. Number 5 backs out Reynolds, and he'll reset the show.
Everything was good about that, too, for Oakland. They had a nice possession down there, and Fletcher finally had a shot within the passing, within the offense. He wasn't forcing it, wasn't having to go off the dribble, wasn't going through 2 different guys or switches and things of that sort. So great shot for the Raiders, just didn't drop.
Well, and they can run half-court offense, as you saw right there. So they got good transition offense, but if they have to, they can run half-court offense.
Shot clock reset to 20 on the out of bounds. It's down to 10 right now. As Reynolds is going to have to try and manufacture something himself, and against the great defense, not easy to happen. Sanders at the other end. He's got the step on the defender, unable to finish, but Fletcher with a cheapy reach in.
Good take.
Yeah, it starts down here. Your defense.
Defense.
Forces a last-second shot, get the rebound, gets the ball up the floor.
I think when Delta College plays solid, good defense, fellas, that's their offense is much better when they're playing solid defense.
And making the free throw. That's a great free throw
helps.
because we talked earlier, 70%.
Yep.
70% is the number you want to reach. Didn't get it in the first half, didn't get it in the first couple minutes, but second half, win the second half. Just flicks it up there.
Oh, just 3 pieces of iron, couldn't get it to finish. Now let's see if the big fella wants to bring the ball down the floor. I don't know too many guards that want to stand in front of him and try and take the charge. And they get the ball again into the hands of Reynolds.
Now they got to start their offense with 13 seconds on the shot clock, though.
Slater, there's not a lot right there for him either, as they're looking for spacing, and they don't have great spacing. He steps back for a 3, can't get it to drop, and we're going to fight for the loose ball. And, boy, there was massive contact down there.
And the Oscar goes to.
Oh, you mean I was being a little facetious?
That's the extra Oscar they got from last night. They had one more to give away.
I was waiting for the right moment.
Sometimes you got to sell it.
I was just going to say, it's all about the effect.
That's right.
As we've got a 30-second timeout. It looks like Oakland calls that. We'll take a break and be back with Delta up by 5 in 6:32 left of the game on BCTV.
I picked Delta College because when I was going through high school, we did all the technical trades contests down here, Skills USA down here, and I watched the shop go from being small, and then a year before I graduated high school, they got the grant money, and now they have our full Haas showcase. The shop here is so much more advanced than anywhere else. That's why I came down here.
At Delta, you can take the first step towards achieving your dream. Visit delta.edu.
Back on Bay County TV as we look at the National JUCO Championship banner from '89 and the women's in 1999.
Softball.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, women's fast
See,
pitch.
the half of the basket covered it. So,
yeah, good softball program out here at Delta College.
Well, and the baseball program is starting to make inroads as well. So There's talk of football in the future, and things are looking good out here at Delta.
Mike LaRose was the head coach of that national championship. Jim Deming was the assistant coach for that national champ, Hall of Famer.
Another Bay City's best. Trey Newsham deep on the wing. Still with 10 on the clock. Trying to roll to the basket. Wood's going to turn around with a really tough 18-footer. But Sanders on the backside, and he is going to be fouled by Zachary Eisenberg again. My favorite rebound in basketball, Mike, that backside. Sanders had it sealed off.
Well, nice job by Sanders. Good patient. He had great position, Jeff, and he knew he was going to get fouled, so he went up and, just took his time going up there and didn't hurry that shot.
He didn't force the ball out. You know, a lot of times they get that rebound. The first thing you want to do, and it's not a bad thing, but not when you're 2 feet from the basket and you have that ability to elevate and rise up.
Yeah, and he's a tall, lanky kid. And he's got a wingspan of a 767, so he just took his time and goes to the free throw line, gets the Pioneers up by 6.
Boy, splits his last 2 attempts at the free throw line, 2 for 4.
There it is.
Again, there's the double team in the corner. And it comes back to Slater. Fletcher on the backside.
Chaz almost had it.
There is great defense again, and Fletcher forced up the shot and couldn't make it happen. Here we got with numbers 3 on 2 down the floor. Trying to go underneath. A nice job that time by Slater. He was fresh. He got back on D.
Got to hold your seal. Evan's going to look back on that. If he just maybe get the right hip a little bit more, get that arm extended. Also, but Chaz, get the ball up.
Little arm bar and then get the ball, throw to the hand.
Absolutely.
Anderson with a rare opportunity to put the rock on the floor 30 feet from the basket.
Rare for a reason.
As the drive down the baseline by Woods finishes off the glass. And don't look now, it's +8 for Delta. Here's we approach 5 minutes left in the ball game.
Yeah, you're looking at a great, confident player right now, the way Woods is playing. He hit the shot earlier, then he hit the layup, he got to the free throw line. He's doing all the right things, and that's what you need to do.
Step back 3 by number 10, Randolph. What patience.
How about that shot bake, step back, step to the side, get back behind the three-point line. Nice soft touch. That was sweet.
I don't know how you can put your shoulder into your positioning to stop somebody. It's amazing, as you're talking about Evan's ability to put the ball on the floor.
Newsham wide open up top. Tickles and Twine on the trifecta, and that was a biggie, putting them back up by 8.
Well, that's your answer right there. You want to have something. It was within the offense. You didn't want to have Evan continue to dribble the ball, so.
Good no call.
Good no call. He's trying to get his Oscar award.
Flop for that.
It's okay. Still no call.
Yep.
Sometimes you get caught looking and you make that call.
Trying to come down the floor. Woods going
There's
strong to the
one.
hole and a
That's a good
block.
call.
Yeah,
that is another great call
one.
because trying to bail, and when you're as big as Parker, you just stand there and take it. He was bailing because he knew Woods had a head of steam on him, and he's going to go to the go to the free throw line, try and make it a 3.
Yeah, but his position where he set up shop was too high. I mean, that's it. You're going around him, and so when Woods was able to still penetrate around and have a good angle, you slide over. Yeah,
Yes.
That's an easy one. It's one of the best ones they called all day.
The best no call down here before and a good call down here.
Another missed opportunity. 2 of 5 at the line for the last 3 trips, and it got across the midcourt line but did not have both feet established. Therefore, a turnover, and that is huge. Antoine Jobert says, well, he was across the line with one good foot, did not establish, and that's why that third official gets to that line to make sure that he's on top of that call.
That was a great call.
Yeah, it was.
Yep. Boy, great job by Woods to get that back as he got a little teardrop from 7. And it's a 10-point lead for Delta with 3:40 left in the ball
Chaz
game.
Wood, the last couple minutes, fellas, has played outstanding basketball for Delta.
Can't get him off the floor, playing well defensively.
Right.
Confidence is at a different level right now. This is the best he's played. Felton's played great. Best game I've seen him play all year. Now Woods is really stepping up on the offensive side as they get Trey for a 4th foul. Little hold down there.
I think very little.
Well, in the college game, guys, sometimes you just got to have somebody that's going to step up and have a big game. It might not be your star player. It might be somebody coming off the bench, but you always need somebody to come in there and just give you that spark. And right now it's Chaz Woods.
And when we talked earlier about the opportunity that these kids had with the other people out, you said he was one of the people that needed to step up offensively, and he is playing with a ton of confidence tonight.
I thought that for all year, kind of waiting. I know he can play. He was coached by his father, played at Heritage, played for John Wilson over there a little bit. I know he can play, and it's frustrating when you're a fan and you're going, come on, man, when are you going to turn that next step? Well, you know what? No better time than right now.
He did it tonight. Looking good.
It's
now he's
amazing
going
what
to try
confidence.
and break the pressure here all by himself, and just getting there a little bit late. And that'll send Delta to the free throw line. Again, guys, Delta's got to finish. We talked about the first half of the second half. They were doing a great job at the line. Now they've got to finish at the free throw line.
Well, you know what? You got a lot of time left, Jeff. Up 9 are the Pioneers. I mean, they got to get to that free throw line. They've got to take care of the basketball because, as we well know, they're not going to call every foul on every reach-in.
Right,
got to handle the rock.
There's the soft touch.
I think that rim's been here since when I was coaching out here. That's a sweet rim.
That is a softie.
Sounds the same.
It sure does.
Well, he's made his last front ends of his last 3 trips there. Can he finish with the second? Little flick. Boy, that is just a my friend Flicka type shot, and it ends up dropping. It's an 11-point lead now, and a turnover as Sanders playing good defense again. TJ, they're making Oakland work to even get into their half-court set.
Oh, this whole second half has been by the script. As if you're Coach McMath, what you talked about at halftime, you've got them playing great defense. You got them hustling. You got them moving. Now you can't give up threes.
It's a good challenge.
Yep. Randolph had his feet squared, though, and
1-2-1-1 by the Raiders.
Woods beats it himself, going in between 3. Strong to the hole. Little teardrop, tried to use the glass. Fight for the loose change, and it comes down to Reynolds.
Under 3 minutes, you're up 8. You got to get a couple of defensive stops. Do it what you've been doing all half.
And there's one. You just asked for it, and you got it. That's huge with 2:35 left. Sanders definitely doesn't want to be launching that 3 ball from there. Does a nice job getting it back out to Collins.
He might want it. He might have wanted to. I don't think, Coach McMath would have.
Coach McMath didn't want him to.
Of course, those are the one shot that go up, and you're going, no, yes.
And they're going to have a foul on the play as Justin Parker comes and just nicks. Number 2 on the play, Robert Mitchell.
Nice read by
Blank.
Mitchell there on the screen. Screen came high. His defensive player went to the high side. He went low, took it to the rack. Nice job.
Yeah, went into the rack. We went hard right. Again, where we talk about, and we can talk about till we're blue in the face, just go make your layup. You really wanted that first one to be an and one, and you didn't get either. And again, you can't count on the officials to make that call for you. Make it easy for them.
There's a nice stroke at the free throw line for Robert Mitchell. And again, I think Coach McMath has done a phenomenal job of his rotation here in the second half.
He's picking right buttons right now.
A lot of fresh bodies on the floor for Delta College all night long. 3, 4, 5 minutes of rest. Get them back in there, fresh legs. Nice job.
Against Anderson, and that's good defense. You don't want the foul. You want to make him have a tough shot. And now they get the ball back to Newsham.
Like it when the ball gets into the middle of the floor.
Gives you double the options.
So does Coach McMath. He really likes that safety valve, and then he tries to get somebody a little bit higher up the court into the middle.
Get the ball, look opposite. Somebody should be open.
Still got 21 on the clock. Plenty of time left. I think right now if they use the clock and they finish with a score, they're going to be tough to beat this rest of this game. That'll put them up 10 or 11. Huge possession in this ball game right now.
That was a nice back cut by Trey.
Trey Newsham wide open for the 3 ball. Tickles the twine. Coach McMath tried to get a timeout and he couldn't. Down at the other end of the floor. Shot is up and it's missed. And boy, with a buck and a half left, up 11. All you want to do now is squeeze that clock, Coach.
Take some time off. You might see a timeout here.
Nope, I think they're going to just let it go now. I don't think they want to do anything to stop it. And the ball out of bounds.
Go back to Trey, going on that backdoor cut, didn't get the ball, but what did he keep doing? He kept coming around, he came out to the wing, got the shot, made the big three.
Absolutely. You know, you sit there, you try and tell your guys, hey, you may not get the first one,
right,
but don't stop playing. This is going to be a little shot clock down to the under 10. Maybe a little drive and kick.
Oh, what a nice little crossover. He's going to fade away, can't get it, but they did what they needed to. They needed to take 30 seconds off of the clock. Now quickly down at the other end, a little off-balance three. Not able to happen, and boy, that goes off of Slater and out of bounds. Back over to Delta with 55.9 ticks left in the game.
You know, they took Woods out a couple minutes ago. I'm expecting maybe for him to get back into the game. He's played well, got his free throws to drop here in the second half. And I think we're going to see a timeout here. Oh, they did get it across.
Underneath Anderson, slam it, bam it, and jam it down with an exclamation point.
Thank you very much.
Boy, that was the one right there, up 13 with 40 ticks left. That might have done it. Fletcher might have a three here, but that's off the mark. His tired legs caused that one, TJ.
I tell you what, 30 seconds left, up 13. A great win for the Pioneers. And again, if they can get Peyton Miller back for one last run, they're going to be a tough team to beat come next week in March.
Collins with an exclamation point and a reach and foul. They're going to get that before the shot, so it'll be a 1-and-1.
What are we talking about?
Nope, they're going to give them 2.
Before. You know, you're up by 16. Quit stopping the clock. If he makes a layup, it's okay.
You don't want it to stop.
Your
Indeed.
defensive efficiency rating isn't going to slip.
Boy, it's quiet in here right now as the first free throw by Slater is missed.
Nobody knew. I thought he called for 2.
He did call for 2, but it was 1-and-1. I was right and he was wrong.
Official to an official.
Yes, indeed. I'll take credit for that one because he did miss signal. But the problem with that is your 2 officials have got to mirror that, but that's all there is.
There isn't any more.
The final score in our ball game, Delta with a very impressive 92-76 victory over Oakland Community College Raiders. We'll be back in a moment with a fun post-game show right here on BCTV. Back here on our post-game show on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan, Mike Wisdala, and TJ Newsham along with you. I look back at the second half, and I really think that the technical foul from Slater really took Coach Joe Bear out of his rhythm, but Delta capitalized.
Well, and you know, that was something I kind of completely forgot about, Jeff, but I think that's a great point, you know, and he came off the floor and he was just kind of walking down the floor, jabber and finally the official says, you know, that's enough, and he jabbered some more, and finally, you know, he teed him up. He had to bring him off the floor. That did change the complexion of the game for the Oakland Raiders.
The other great halftime adjustment from Coach McMath, he threw a lot of bodies at Fletcher in the second half, and that paid dividends.
Oh, he rotated him, almost perfectly. You know, Sanders started out with him. We talked about it. Jobert calls the timeout for Oakland. You start maybe wondering, and then they almost went to a little 4-man game, for a little 4-on-4. It kind of hit him away in the corner. But even after that, whether it was Newsham, whether it was Woods, whether it was Sanders, they really, really made him have to manufacture. When you have to manufacture shot after shot after shot and not get those easy ones you were getting in the first half, your legs start getting a little tired, mine starts getting a little heavy, and all of a sudden your other teammates that aren't getting the ball, now you're putting a load on them. So it was a great adjustment. Great hats off to the defense. They forced him into a couple of travels, you know, things that just weren't happening in the first half. He was kind of having his way, but, you know, he was their best basketball player on the floor tonight for Oakland, for sure.
45 in one half, 47 in the second half. Consistently offensively, they got it done tonight, too.
And a couple kids just played really good. Sanders played good at stretches. Down the stretch, Chaz Woods played really, really tough. Free throws were big. They made their free throws down the stretch, whether it was the first one of a 1-on-1 or they made the 2s. So there's a lot of little things that we always talk about as coaches, TJ, as you well know. It's the details, the little details that win you games, and they did those little detail things. And go back to that full court press. That changed the complexity of the game for both teams.
One of arguably your best players hurts his ankle early in the game, changes the rotation. The rest of the kids stepped up. as a coach looking back at this game, there's a whole lot of positives to be pulled out of it.
I tell you, there's a lot more positives than negatives when you're going back and looking at this film. You know, the couple things. They spread the scoring around really well. And I think when Delta doesn't have one player, and Goliath is their leading scorer, I wouldn't say he struggled, but these teams are scouting now. You're talking about your 26 games in the season, they're all on huddle, they're all scouting, they all know who the scorer is. But when you have a Wood step up, in that second half, he played as well as I've seen him play this year, but at this level. You know, you start wondering about that freshman fatigue at the end of the year. You're not a freshman anymore. You're a basketball player. You mentally, you got to start working through it. I thought Felton played great. Evan Anderson played great. He started the game off with a slam. They got himself a technical foul, but we said at the time, that might be something that keeps him into the game. He rebounded the ball well. He finished the ball, or finished the shots down there well. Felton gave great minutes, and again, they're playing without, you know, arguably their top post player in Peyton Miller. So, you know, those guys stepped up. Wood stepped up. Trey coming back for his first game, hit a couple big threes in the second half. One right after Randolph hits one to bring the game to 8. You know, he comes back down within the offense, gets a shot. We watch him come off of the second one that kind of helped put him up by 13, and then Collins hits the one in the corner, puts him up 16. They had a lot of guys, and if you're at Oakland, who are you going to guard? Because it didn't matter who you were guarding, because somebody else was stepping up. Great job. Second half was a great job.
And again, the rotation from Coach McMath had fresh bodies on the floor at the end of the game, and that was huge.
It was a masterful job by Coach McMath tonight, rotating his players. I think everybody got in there to play. He had fresh legs on his kids the whole game, and it was just a little blow, 2, 3, maybe 4 minutes tops. And you know what? The kids accepted that. They knew that this part of his rotation was coming. They accepted that, and they came with a big 92-76 win at a crucial time of the year. And one thing we got to remember, you know, high school you play 20, 21 games. Kids now in college, 26, 28, 29. If you're going to a tournament, you're up in 34, 35, and that's uncharted territories for a lot of these freshman kids who came in and gave great minutes tonight.
Well, definitely special thanks to Delta College tonight and JJK and Hoops for being the co-sponsors of this game. It was a ton of fun being out here. We saw basketball at its purest form tonight. It was indeed a pleasure. So on behalf of the whole crew, I'm Jeff Doan, along with TJ Newsham, Mike Wasdala, Jared and Natalie Doan on the cameras, Nick Page producing and directing. It's been a lot of fun. We'll look forward to talking with you soon.